All right, here's time for our servant leader, Dr. Pastor Don Houston.
Yeah.
Yay! Okay. Here's my slide.
How about oof? Okay, well, I don't know why I'm getting tongue tied. So
Okay. Ready?
Yahuwah Bahasham Yahusha Barakatah. May the Most High bless you in Christ Hamashiach. So today, we're going to be finishing up understanding Shabbat and the calendar days, the proper names today, and the proper names of the week. So in the Tanakh and Bereshit, the second chapter, it reads, "And now on the seventh day, Elohim completed his work which he had done, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he has made. And Elohim Baruch blessed the seventh day and made it Kadash, common name holy, because he rested from all his work which Elohim in creating had made." So today we're gonna talk about this is the Shabbat discussion. We're ending things today, so all the notes and all the slides that you may need to know is up on the Dropbox. Everyone has access to it, worship leader. So continue to start pointing there because a lot of stuff is going to be going there. And it makes it easy for study. And also, they will also get a copy of today's video. So let's talk about the months and day proper names. The Creator's calendar, proper names, calendar was rooted in nature, unlike continuously running along with the Gregorian calendar, which is the wrong calendar or the fake calendar. The Creator's calendar is solid and ties to all nat, um, natural rhythms of the universe. This lunar solar calendar depends on both the sun and the moon, aligning with the basic rhythms of life and reminding us of our connection with the universe and the creator. And who is the creator? It should be Yahuwah. If you said Yahuwah, you said, hey, God, that's right. So it's Yahuwah.
Yahuwah.
And God. So, why does this matter? I'm glad you asked. The scriptural calendar is based on the moon and the sun, not just one or the other. So, we know that the sun is the greater light and it rules the day, and that the moon is lesser light along with the stars that governs over the evening. So the two have come in hand because one gives you darkness and the other one gives you light, or you get light and then you get darkness. I hope this is making sense to you. That's why you count the calendar according to what he has said on the first day. It didn't say Monday. It didn't say January. It said on the first day. The first day we know is Rajan, which is day one on the calendar. Asking it, why does this matter? The scripture calendar is based on the moon and the sun, not just one or the other. A Yakel common name Ezekiel 2020 reads, the first it says, what hold on, what is this? This can you read Ezekiel? Hold on. Do you have Ezekiel 2020 on your phone or something? I don't it's not hold on, is that it right there?
No, that's not
No,
it.
that's not it. Oh, okay.
Ezekiel 2020.
Ezekiel 2020. Why didn't it pop? Oh. Okay.
Okay. So Ezekiel 20:20 reads, "And I keep my Sabbath holy, that they may be a sign between me and you, that you may know that I am the Allure, your Yahuwah."
So all he was saying is that keep it Kadash, keep it holy, people, because
Mhm.
he is the creator and he created us and he wanted us to worship with him. So when the Israelites were in captivity in Mistram, common name Egypt, then when they made a Shemuth or an Exodus, common name, movement into the wilderness, that he wanted them to worship him on the appointed days and appointed times, according to the moon and the sun calendar, the Creator's calendar. That's what he said. Keep it Kadash. Keep it common and keep it holy, people. Just keep it holy. Just follow it. But we follow a fake calendar. Okay, it's about to get tight. We follow a calendar that was created that they want to change, put their hands on and say, we don't want to follow the Creator's calendar. We don't care less about following the Creator's calendar. Make it easy for us. So the Roman Catholic Church, yeah, I'm putting them on blast, said that they wanted, the emperor said, I want to keep a calendar which is going to keep common names of pagan gods and pagan deities. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. People, those are pagan names assigned to a pagan deity. But we've been saying these all our lives. So the proper names is month one all the way to month 12. There is a 13th month. We will talk about that month also. But in the common calendar, we have days of the week. We have pagan names, Monday through Friday through Sunday, repeats itself, but it's day one, day two, day three, and so on, up to 7 days. And the seventh day is a Shabbat day. So 6 days of work. Deacon in training Adderley and Elder in training Makiba and Deacon Tyrone and Sister Q
Q.
and Sister Chantel and everybody else is listening. You work 6 days. That's your work. It's servile work. And servile work is when you sweat, when you perspire. You sit in the office, you don't sweat. Only way you sweat, here we go, Dr. McKeever. If the AC is not working and it's 100 degrees outside and you in a building, that's when you sweat. But if you're working, mechanically doing labor work, like moving furniture, painting, building something, you are to rest because what? Your servile work or your toil, as we say, you sweat. So 6 days, you work, you do your work. Then on seventh day, if there's no servile work, there's no work. You work. Now, I understand we work for government companies in this country. They only gonna give us the days that are assigned to us that's on a federal level, that's on the Rome calendar, the Gregorian calendar, and that's when they say you ain't got to work. But most of us work. We're not. What's the common word I'm looking for? Is not temporary work, not consulting work, but
Permanent,
permanent work.
full time.
If you have permanent job
Mm-hmm.
and you get those days off, you get paid. Now, if you're a contractor or if you're a temp and those federal days come and the office closed or whatever it is, you do not get paid that day. That makes sense. So salary workers get the benefit of being off and still make the money, but the temporary people are the ones that find themselves working on these holidays, as I call them, and then the only way they don't get paid if they got to go to work on that particular federal government day. And we got plenty of them. I think it's up to it, 8 or 9 of them that we get each year. If you got the time on the books, hey, you can afford another day off or so, but you have to have that time. If you don't, if you do find yourself doing it, you get penalized. And penalization just could be you might get suspended, you might even get terminated. But why do the federal government have their hands in things? And then the Most High said that 6 days and seventh day is my appointed Kadash holy day. But the government don't care nothing about that. Yeah, I'm talking about the government. Yeah, yeah. Are you gonna find me? Whatever. But keep it Kadash. He said. He said keep it holy because I want my people to relax, to rest after 6 days of toil and our work to create this world and the country and this government that you run, and you just telling me you don't care nothing about what I'm gonna do and how I put my plan to action. Just like Pharaoh told Moshe, no, they can't go until something happens, people, that when they first lost their firstborn human child or the firstborn animal after the Passover angel passed after seeing the blood, he summoned Moshe and Aaron and told them, y'all can go. Get away from me. Get out. And they left, packed up all their stuff out of Goshen, and then went into the wilderness to dwell with Yahuwah. And then he stripped them of everything and told them, I'm going to give you my commandments. Follow my commandments because they are holy. And do it after generation. It just don't stop with the Israelites or the Yahudim people or Hebrews. It goes on until this day and time. So, like Ezekiel said, keep it holy. That's what he said, right? So we keep it holy. So officially today is the first day or Rajan, and the first month, common name January, and the year is not pagan year 2026. It's actually year 5785. Let me let all that sink into what I just said. So the calendar years, which we know that we grew up on. Oh, okay, go ahead.
No, I was just going to comment. Not, I don't have a precept yet.
Oh,
I have a few. I wanted to make a comment, but go ahead.
no, make a comment.
Okay, so the comment is one, there is in this country supposedly no division of church and state.
Right.
So this country and society can be 2026. While as Hebrew culture or people who follow Hebrew culture, the year is different.
Correct.
And
Because
so when you think about when you work in society that is separate from your culture and your religion, you have to make your days holy.
okay.
So if you don't get certain days off and other people get their day off, then you have to advocate for yourself for your days off.
Right.
You cannot expect your employer or even the federal government to make your days holy or set apart your days. So when you think about it, it's like, okay, you can have 2026 because that is what you follow. And I can have it be 5897 culturally. Even though in when I go to work every day and they say Happy New Year, they're saying 2026.
Correct.
And I'm okay with that too.
So, so the comment you're making is that you're okay because the separation between church and state
And culture.
and culture, but then when it comes down to it, all that everything you said, and I used to think like that also, that hey, everything that we done is are we did we get outside the will of Yahuwah, outside his will, because because we made the choice. The word I'm saying that I'm gonna
Mhm.
use me. I made the choice to follow the government when I'm not supposed to be a part of the earth, what's going on, but I live here. But
And
I
your
made
body is here. Understand your body is here.
all right, and I made a
So,
choice
mm-hmm.
I'm just saying me,
Yeah.
I made a choice to follow man's laws and rules and told the Most High, told Yahuwah, sit your name, common name God, I'm gonna follow man. I'm because man taking care of me, but my faith is supposed to be in you. But I also put my faith because I get a paycheck, I get to go to work every day, and I get days off, and I can make that my Shabbat if I choose to. This is what I'm
Yeah.
saying. If
Yeah.
I choose to.
Yeah.
So now's the time that you know truth and you heard truth and you discovered it first.
Mm-hmm.
Then, and within his scriptures from the Tanakh books, also common name Old Testament writings, also in the Brit Hadash writings, common name New Testament, it talks about keeping the Shabbat. It talks about keeping those appointed feast days.
And it
Just
also
because
talks about
Yahuwah
mhm,
came down in the flesh as Yahusha,
mhm,
common name Jesus, died, and he said on the stake, word number 6, it is finished.
mhm,
Everything that Yahuwah told him to do
mhm,
is finished.
mhm,
So then people believe that since
mhm,
he fulfilled everything, I don't
mhm,
have to follow the commandments.
mhm,
I don't have to follow the appointed feast days. And it's wrong, people, because just because we know Yahuwah is salvation and Yahusha is the way to salvation through the Father, and we way followers, we still, when Yahusha ascended on high back into the Shemin, the heavens, that he weeks the apostles that were remaining here before they transitioned
mhm.
had to keep the appointed days and the appointed commandments and the commandments. That's it. So we're no different than what they are. But if you choose to be out of covenant, and then when you hear truth and discover it for yourself, I'm just talking about me. I'm not pointing any fingers. That when I discovered truth and stayed in his word, I got convicted. So I said, I repent for everything I have said and done. I'm following you, Yahuwah. I'm following you, common name God. I am following you. And so now I am, since I am Yahudi, that's culture, not religion. I'm going to keep in great standing with Yahuwah. I'm going to wear my fringes according to Numbering 1538, common name Numbers, and then I'm going to follow the feast days, and eat right, all coming from the Guaraqua, common name Leviticus books, then stay within the Torah, and then I'm gonna jump over to the Kadash books, which is New Testament books, and also follow what Yahushua has said on the earth, to love yourself, to love, but keep as you love the Father. Keep his commandments. If you love me, keep his commandments. If he loves me, keep his commandments. I said it 3 times for a reason, because it has to be confirmed that, hey,
But your love is not, but his love is not conditional only on his commandments.
right, but his
So if it's
action,
not conditional only on his commandments, because commandments are laws that is put in place to make you do a certain thing and to make you recognize what is sinful. So therefore, I can follow all the commandments and still be a sinful person. It is my faith and how the commandments are then app applied to my life through my faith that will then have the relationship that Yahuwah wanted from the beginning. He didn't want you to follow commandments like a robot, or he would have made you not have free will. He wanted you to follow those commandments so it can strengthen your relationship with him, so that he would have a place within you instead of having a place in the ark and in a temple. But what happened was that they followed commandments. They broke commandments. They followed commandments. They broke commandments because those words never penetrated the heart and the love that you're supposed to have for Yahuwah.
put some fire emojis in the chat
So
for that
now we
conversation right
are
there.
following words still and not allowing those words to penetrate unless you believe in Yahusha and the reason that he died on that stake. And that's your faith. So when Paul talks about in Romans that, and we're all believing now that he's getting these words from Yahuwah, that Yahuwah ended the law. Yahuwah, not him, not Yahusha. It says in Romans, I believe I read this morning 10, Yahuwah ended the law, and your faith is what will bring you to him.
Can you back up the scripture, please, since you
Well,
brought
it's
that up?
also in your Brit Hadash, because I saw it and you highlighted it, and I was like, oh, he highlighted it, but we always go back.
Okay, you said Romaning.
Roman, oh yeah, how you pronounce it? Romans.
Uh-huh.
I believe it's 10 because I think I'm already reading 10 now.
Okay. I'm in the
Okay.
Kadash books. What verse?
Okay, let me see. I'm here. It's verse 3. Starts at verse 3. Well, let's start at 1. Brothers, my heart desire and prayer to Yahuwah for them is that they may be saved. For I bear them witness that they have a zeal for Yahuwah, but not according to knowledge. For being ignorant of the righteousness of Yahuwah and seeking to establish their own, they did not submit to Yahuwah's righteousness. For Mashiach is the end of the law for righteousness to everyone who believes. Then it goes further. For
Okay.
Moses writes about the righteousness that is based on the law, that a person who does the commandments shall live by them. But the righteousness based on faith says, do not say in your heart who will ascend into heaven. That is to bring Mashiach down, or who will descend into the abyss. That is to bring Mashiach up from the dead. But what does it say? The word is near you, in your mouth and in your heart. That is the word of faith that we proclaim. Because if you confess with your mouth that Yahusha is Lord, is allure, and believe in your heart that Yahuwah raised him from the dead, you will be saved. For with the heart one believes and is justified, and with the mouth one confesses and is saved.
What did you end at verse 8?
I ended at verse 10.
Okay, it is written in Romani's common name, Romans, brothers, it is written, brothers and sisters, my heart's desire for a prayer to Allah is your Israel to be saved.
Mm-hmm.
Israel to be saved. I know many of them have a zeal for Allah, but do not understand the ways things are now. They do not understand Allah's righteousness, and they try to be righteous by obeying the old covenant laws.
Mm-hmm.
However, the Mashiach brought an end of the covenant law, and he now requires righteousness through having faith in him. At this time, Masha said to the person for beginning righteous to Allah by obeying the old covenant law. However, their righteousness to Allah, faith in Yahuwah Mashiach, would
Mm-hmm.
never say who will go up to the heavens and bring a Mashiach down.
Mm-hmm.
Neither would they ask who will go down to the world and to the dead and bring him back to life. All who are righteous to Allah, because your faith is in Yahuwah Mashiach, simply say the word is, and close your mouth and in your heart and in this message of faith that we preach.
Mm-hmm.
So after
So
all
for
that,
what so the 10th verse was for with the
oh,
heart. What was the 10th verse?
okay, go ahead. Go ahead, read yours.
So it said, for with the heart one believes and is justified, and with the mouth one confesses and is saved. So if you even said it, because it said the same thing in your third thing. It said the same thing. It said, for for Hamashiach is the end of the law for righteousness. The law was set up for righteousness. So some of those laws, he, not I, not my disobedience, ended because he knew that those laws that he created, did not do what he thought it was going to do because of their own free will and disobedience. So he
Hold
came
on.
down.
We was in what chapter?
We was in Romans 10. It
10.
started at 1, and I'm talking about verse 3, 3 and 4.
All right, because I had you
And
wanted
you
me to
have
read
it
it first.
marked in there because I read it in yours too. In that Brahadesh. I read it in there to could go back and forth with the words and everything. So I'm just saying that
Okay, so
the
verse
Sabbath
10.
is a law that was put in place so that man may rest in Yahuwah.
Right.
He gave us instructions on how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But he also said that, but we also know that in the first four chapters of the New Testament, or the Tanakh, not the Tanakh, Brigadesh, Yahusha had to sometimes do miracles on the Sabbath. So we know, so unless that's a rest, which that means that if I was to go to a physical church and I call Sunday my Sabbath, then Sunday is my Sabbath. It does not make it any non-Sabbath because it was not on a certain moon day. Your Sabbath is your Sabbath. The fact of making a Sabbath, I think, is the point. Because the fact is that many of us do not rest and give Yahuwah the time he deserves.
Okay, and verse 10 in the Kadash
Mm-hmm.
said, it is with your heart that you believe and become righteous,
Mm-hmm.
and it is in your mouth you confess, which leads you to salvation.
Okay.
So We know salvation is in Yahuwah,
Yes.
and Yahusha is the through way or the one to Yahuwah.
Yes.
But it's the faith
Mm-hmm.
of you understanding that keeps you in right standing with Yahuwah.
Yes.
So you mentioned that most of us went to our place of worship on Sundays, and it wasn't a day of rest for us. But if we decided not to show up to church, we did, or we rested at home, regardless, whatever it was. But then that was just a assembly of people gathering together and having a worship service. As I say,
It could have
um,
been. It could have been, but it also could have been your day of rest and how you choose to rest. Because I believe, well, let me just say for myself, because I can't say for anybody else. For
mhm.
myself, my Sunday was my Shabbat day. That was my day that I went to an assembly and I was worship and meditating on Yahuwah. Now, the fact is that I would even add that most of us need to do that more, but I at least knew I started on a Sunday. That's how I first became saved and how I grew my relationship. We should do more, but we can't negate what a Sunday meant to most people because that was their day of worship and meditation on Yahuwah. Now, people who have to work, if you like pastors and stuff like that, that is your work day because that's your job. That may be you consider your servile labor. But the ones who is sitting there and bringing Yahuwah to a building because you wanted not only to um bring him with you, but you wanted to share him with the assembly as you were supposed to do. That was a Sabbath day.
So, and we have the scriptures, and we believed, and we know that the Israelites, common name Israelites, were told to worship in the wilderness with Yahweh because when they were in captivity in Matsar for
Mm-hmm.
435 years,
Mm-hmm.
they worship in that within that government.
Mm-hmm. If they
So
could worship at all, but if they worship, because they did, according to them, the movies, they did still worship, but they just couldn't be outside worshiping.
so when they was worshiping and did not know it was idolatry, did not know it was wrong, but they knew that there was something greater, and greater took them out of Matsar
Mm-hmm.
into the wilderness,
Mm-hmm.
and he wanted his people to be with him and worship him.
Mm-hmm.
If it's back in so many years up until today, he wants his people to worship him. That's why Ezekiel said, keep it holy, keep it kadash.
Mm-hmm.
And we should.
Yes,
Also,
I agree with that completely. That you should keep a
if we
Sabbath.
are following the words that Yahusha has said, and we know that Yahuwah is salvation and
Mm-hmm.
that he is Yahusha in the flesh, we know that that is Jesus who came, who died, and ascended back to the Father
Mm-hmm.
and gave us a double commandment
Mm-hmm.
to love your neighbor as yourself and also love the allure, your allure, with all
Mm-hmm.
your heart and all your soul.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's a double commandment. Love
That's
yourself
the
first
commandment.
and
Yeah,
also love your
that's the
God.
greatest commandment. That's what it
That's
says,
that
and
because
that's the
we
greatest
got we
commandment.
got the two.
Mm-hmm.
So all that being said is that as we prepare, all of us, to be 144 ready and also awaiting the second return of Yahuwah Mashiach,
Mm-hmm.
let's keep what Yahuwah has said because our ancestor messed it up. So now we are a generation that we can get it right. Is everyone in agreement with what I just said? Since our ancestors
I'm not in agreement with that, but we could get it right. Yes.
to get it right
Yes.
because they didn't have Yahusha. Yahusha came later. They
Mm-hmm.
Yahuwah dwelt with them, and
Mm-hmm.
they still did crazy stuff. That's what he called them. You crazy, y'all sticking
Yeah.
that people.
It was
And we are,
disobedient.
and then disobedient, and then they hoard around themselves when they got out of Egypt and went into the land of milk and honey, Canaan, and then they prostitute themselves into paganism and doing things. And what happened? Yahuwah put them back in captivity. They were always in and out of captivity. So all I'm saying is, people, let's get it right. So our ancestors can join us also in the time of when the Shamin is here on the earth, not in the sky, but people are they're gonna all no, in here in the earth in symbols. So we do that. So
Mm-hmm.
English is our common language. And we do know that there is some paganism rooted words into it that we had already been saying, but we never knew what the meaning was behind the days of the weeks or the months of the calendar year. And then also the name of the Father, the true name of the Father, and the true name of the Son. So
Mm-hmm.
we follow what man has put into place, and we still do. And we have a calendar that is according to the moon. For today is a Shabbat day.
Uh-huh.
It's a gathering,
Mm-hmm.
and we're learning. We're learning. Even with our faith, we are still learning.
Yes.
But
We're always learning.
yeah, since we are into a time of what's happening in today's time, everything is off. So since everything is off by man, then we have opportunity to tap into the spirit, the set apart spirit of Yahuwah, and we do those things. So the days, like I said, the months are when the calendar, when you see, can you put the calendar back up, please? The moon calendar. All right, right here. As we okay, that's one. As we see, this is what we follow. And today is the fourth of the first month, the or common name January. Today is the second Shabbat.
Mm-hmm.
Every new moon day, when the moon is dark, is no illumination. There's no sliver of light. There is completely dark. And on the new day, the next day, it is our new moon day because it gives light. And that is, according to scripture, that is the new moon day,
Mm-hmm.
which is a Shabbat day. And
Mm-hmm.
then during Shabbat, there's no work on that day, that first day, new moon day. Then you
Mm-hmm.
count 7 more days, and you see it's going to bring you to
The first
another
Shabbat.
week, another Southern day, which is going to be the third Shabbat.
Mm-hmm.
So we have this is the second Shabbat after 7 days counting. Next week, Sunday, is a Shabbat day, which is our
Third Shabbat.
third Shabbat. Until the new moon cycle continues. So, in paganism, as the Ish people, they follow they believe Shabbat is from Friday evening to Saturday evening. And that's not biblical correct because if we follow in the scriptures, then it tells us when our Shabbats are. So let them do what they do.
Let them do what they do. We don't need to
And
do what they do.
anybody else,
That's the
let
way
them do what they do,
we don't need.
and we shall be following Yahuwah. And then it comes to this: the instructions from Yahuwah across different times, frames during the captivity. No, I don't want to read that. So what happens is that we have the days of the week. This is what I want to talk about. Let's talk about the do's and don'ts and the preparation. Saturday for me, because y'all still in training into doing Shabbat, is a preparation day. On preparation day or pre-Shabbat, you can cook, you can bake, you can prepare your soups, your stews. You know, you can bake your challah, your cakes, whatever you do. And then you can go out and purchase. You can also make currency, money transactions on day of preparation. And then you clean your house. You can wash it. You can water your lawn. You can also, if you want to shovel your snow, you can shovel your snow. If it snowed that day, you can do that. That's called day preparation. You know, and also you also create a calm atmosphere for yourself, a relaxation, meditation, and also preparing yourself for the next day, which is Shabbat day, that I don't have to do any ripping and running. I don't have to drive my car. None of that. I don't have to make no money transactions. That's my day of rest. I don't have to. I can be on my phone. I can watch TV. I can do all that. That is my day of rest. I can read the Torah. I can read the Tanakh and the Kadash books if need be. Just a day of that's just preparing yourselves for the next day, which is Shabbat day. So, and then when Shabbat day comes, then what you can't do on the new moon visible as a non-working day, relaxation. People often relax to take naps and enjoy being unplugged from work or their digital devices. You need to be on your phones, people. You need to be on your tablets, people. And you can enjoy the set apart gathering by spending time with family. If you're a family person, y'all can get together and y'all can eat. But if you have to cook, you can't cook rice from hard-boiled hard coming from Uncle Ben's rice out the box into a pot and cook it. No, you must cook that day before. I'm just giving examples. If you had a roast you had to cook, you cook it the day before. That's your preparation day. On the Shabbat day, you can heat your food up. Um, you can use a microwave. You can kindle a fire, but you shall not start cooking raw meat up until it's well done to the texture that you want, or chicken, any of your proteins. So you rest. You know, if you're gonna break a sweat out there shoveling snow, I'm gonna say use common sense, use wisdom, and just don't do it. Just let that snow gonna be there the next day, and the sun come out, it's gonna melt it. It might make it easier, but hey, if you got to do what you got to do, if you want to take that chance, if you're gonna bust a sweat, then you're out of covenant because of the laws of the the Shabbat. And then you can't exchange or buy anything of currency. You can't wash, you can't do any washing of clothes. I know that my mother,
Do
who
you?
doesn't practice Shabbat, she doesn't wash clothes on Sunday. So I can, and that's her business. But I'm going to make sure clothes are not being washed in our home on the Shabbat day. You could do it day before or the day after. So we could do that also. And then if you have to drive, then I rather for you, if you have to go somewhere, emergency, you have to drive like something happened to ER, you can take somebody, you can drive that day. If you're a business owner and you use your vehicle for your business to transport stuff and your vehicle breaks down, I know something's gonna sound silly to some of y'all when I say this, that you can tell the mechanic you can't work on my vehicle that day because I'm a Shabbat or Sabbath observer. So it's up to them if they're going to do it or not. But at least you gave them warning. They may not even practice Shabbat, but that's your vehicle that you work with for 6 days. And the seventh day, you observing Shabbat on everything. So, with that being said, I know it sounds weird and crazy. That's just how things are. We have to be conscious of what we're doing. Also, if you're married, here we go. Now, we know that the marriage bed or marriage covenant is undefiled. Honey, on
Honey.
Shabbat, there is no sexual activity of any kind,
Mm-hmm.
none. And our marriage bed is defiled. Fiancés, boyfriends or girlfriends, or same-sex partners,
Undefiled.
undefiled. Did I say
Said
undefiled?
defiled.
Undefiled. Okay, undefiled. All right, slack it. Thank you. You know, if you're not married, you ain't supposed to be fornicating anyway. But if you have same-sex partner, you're fornicating anyway, and you should be having sexual activities, but we're not going to touch that. But I'm just letting everybody know you're going to take this serious. Then everything has to be serious. I did call somebody, a friend one day that's Yahudim, and asked him, bro, can me and my wife have sex? And he told me, what did the scriptures say? I said, I don't find it in the scriptures. He said, that's supposed to be their rest. You having sex with your wife or your wife having sex with her husband, that's a day of pleasure. You're not supposed to pleasure your flesh. Oh, she looked at me. I got that signal with the eyes.
What?
So I got convicted when he said that. So we're gonna have to wait or do it before or do it after Shabbat. So I know some of the stuff sounds crazy, but hey, it gets that serious. Y'all say y'all want to be
Right.
140?
So it's
Okay, y'all want to be 144 ready. Okay, this we're gonna take this thing seriously. So, and I'll say this as I get ready to close. Miskapa, I know some of this may sound crazy and unhinged to what was just said to you. You know that observing Shabbat, it falls on sunset when the sun sets, and when it's and which is dusk, and until the next sunset, which is dusk, when the sun is not lit in the day, then your Shabbat is over. So during when evening on the day of Shabbat, um, the moon is up. There's no sun, and it's considered evening. And on the following, towards the evening at dusk, the starting of dusk or twilight time, they call it, then your Shabbat is over. And then you prepare yourselves for the next 7 days. So, Miskapa, y'all can do this. Y'all can. And I know y'all can do it. If I can do it, you can do it also. So, do not allow your friends, do not let the Shaitan or Hasatan, common name the devil, or your flesh get you out of covenant with Yahuwah and do it. Y'all have practice all summer, and then y'all can be practicing at your leisure until the 31st of this month, the first month. And then I believe
that is the it. Okay.
that's a what?
That's it.
That's it. Then y'all
That's it.
going right into um understanding reading that calendar. You can go up to the Dropbox and get it because it's there. And I'm gonna say this: if you don't know, now you know. If you still having problems, you can reach out, email, text, or by phone. And this is all I have for you guys today. To all esteemed, Ahaba Sham, Alua, Alleluia, Yehovah.
Amen. Way to go.